Hi everyone, welcome. I'm so glad to have you here joining me for another card making tutorial today. My name's Jennifer Frost. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from Australia and I'm sharing this project with you today. It features the Weather Together stamp set. This is the stamp set that the Crafty Carrot Collective are focusing on for the month of January in their free program of classes and tutorials and challenges. The most recent challenge was set by Susan Wong, who's the New Zealand demonstrator, and she made some gorgeous projects using the Weather Together stamp set and this layout for inspiration from the catalogue. So you can see here the Stampin' Up catalogue has provided us with these beautiful ideas. It's on page 116 of our catalogue here, and they're just lovely. And the cards that she's made using the Weather Together stamp set and these as inspiration are beautiful. So do head over there and have a look if you want to check out her tutorial. What I thought I would do is share what she inspired me to create, and that was this project here. I loved the way she used the little presents and made them the focus of her card. I thought that was a really great way to extend the use of a stamp set that you might typically associate with rain or thinking of you type scenarios. So it made a really fun birthday card, and I'm really grateful for any excuse to stretch my stamp sets and do something different with something I've already got in my stash. So let's get on to making a card. This project I'm going to feature in my class tomorrow. I run classes in my local area, and I had a few ladies who weren't able to make it, and while I was putting all the supplies together I thought, won't it be fun if I make a video, and that way I can share it with them even though they weren't able to attend. So a little shout out to Lisa and to you, Christy, and to everyone from around the world watching. The beauty of the internet now is that we're able to connect, and that's amazing. So thank you very much for joining me. I've got a Whisper White folded card base, and I'm just going to set that aside while we decorate the layering panel. So I've left enough room around the edges so that you've got a little bit of a white border on that card. And now I'm going to stamp on my background. This is just a piece of scratch paper just to catch any ink that might fall off the bottom. I've mounted my stamps. You can see the Weather Together stamp set is a polymer stamp set, so you can see exactly where you're going to line it up. When I was choosing to pop them on the block, I just layered my stamp as straight as possible against one of the lines on my mat and made sure that the little bases sat on that thicker white line to get them kind of straight. But obviously it's one of those things, it doesn't matter if it's not exact. You'll still get a great effect. My Pear Pizzazz ink pad. I think this is one of the very first ink pads I ever got. It's still the old felt style, but they last really well. Just warming the stamp set up on my wrist, picking up the colour, and I'm going to start stamping at the top. I want it to come a little bit off the paper. Just forming a bit of a pattern, having just that little bit stick out the side. We don't want it too neat and tidy. Continue this until you've filled the sheet. There we go. Just a few little tops at the bottom there. And there we have it. Our own little designer series paper. You can use your adhesive and just attach that directly to the card front so that you've got that little white border happening all the way around the side. The next thing we're going to do is our sentiment. So I have pre-cut some pieces of the stitched framelets. The stitched framelit dies come in circles, ovals and squares. They were a special promotion, a pre-order sale that happened in November, and they will come back with the brand new catalogue in June. So keep an eye out for those because these are amazing. What I'm going to do is stamp this sentiment, which comes from the Sweet Sentiments set. Now, a little secret about the Sweet Sentiment set. This is actually the Crafty Carrot focus for February. So anyone who purchases through my Stampin' Up demonstrator shop and uses the host code for this month will go into the free program that we're running in February. So that's pretty exciting. You don't have to buy this particular stamp set if there's something else that catches your eye, as long as it's of equal or greater value, but do pick it up because I think that once you see a whole month of inspiration, it will definitely make it onto your wish list. So I'm going for the Hoping Your Day is Perfect. I'm going to mount that on a block just here. And I've achieved a two-tone effect in my sentiment by using markers to colour the words. I've got the basic black and Peekaboo Peach just there. There's two tips. There's a paint brush tip and a fine tip. I'm going to use my paintbrush tip for these. And I'm very carefully just going very slow. I'm trying not to overlap too much so that I don't get it too fair, that I want it to be a nice clear result. I'm trying not to go where I want that orange colour. Again, the paint tip. Just getting up in there. And then I'm going to give my stamp a little huff and puff to make sure it's nice and moist. Then I'm going to line it up on the block, on the little square, so that it sits a bit higher up. Just like that. This is going to go on the project above some of this really lovely peach ribbon. Now I do like to stick my ribbon down using tear and tape adhesive. It's a really great tool for when you're putting embellishments that are a little bit thicker than cardstock onto paper. I would use the tear and tape adhesive across here in a bit of a zigzag pattern. Hiding it where it's going to be covered by the sentiment. Lucky that's going to be hidden, right? So just zigzag. I might actually stick this face down. Alright, so it comes out like this, loops around, comes across the top of that tear and tape in there, and back over this way. I'm going to have to trim just a little bit more. Okay. This will sit over the top on dimensionals I love adding dimensionals to a project. I think it really takes a card up a notch from something you might buy in the store. It makes it really feel that bit extra special. I'm just keeping an eye on where my ribbon is because I don't want dimensionals to overlap the ribbon, so I'm thinking just a halfy one up here and a full one in the corner would be fine. So a full one for this corner. And a half one across the top. Now of course there's a little trick to this card. My ladies from class will have a laugh because they will have looked at this and thought, oh, that's going to be simple, and then I show them just that little trick. As you can see, when we pop that down, this is not long enough to have this little banner come along. So what I've done is got this extra piece, and I'm going to stick that underneath. And the reason I did that to create that rectangle was because I wanted a little bit of white to pop out underneath my little Celebrate. So this is the Celebrate from the Weather Together stamp set. It's such pretty font, and I wanted to be able to bring that into the project. Before I work out where I'm going to want this though, I'm going to need to create my little black embossed sentiment. I'll do that now. I've gone with Pool Party on black. Now Pool Party embossing paper, Pool Party embossing powder has expired from the catalogue, but white would easily do well with this project too. I just happen to have a whole tub of this that I wanted to use up, and since this is a class project tomorrow, the ladies don't mind if I use something that's retired. And as I said, it would still look gorgeous substituted with white. So I've just got an offcut piece of black. I am big on using offcuts. I'm going to stamp that in Versamark. Doesn't really matter where, close to the top so I can get the most out of the paper maybe. I'm going to use a little bit of paper. Where's that paper I had before? Here we go. I'm going to turn that over, and I'm going to use that to catch my powder. There we go. Tap off the excess. I'm happy with that, and I'm going to heat set it. Which is here. So you can see it gives you that lovely puffed, raised finish, and that's really nice. Helps it really stand out from the black and do something that you can't really achieve with stamps on different colours. Alright, so I'll just pop the lid on that, otherwise I'm going to knock it and make a mess everywhere. And I'm going to use my punch. So this is the the new label punch, and it just helps give you nice straight lines on the top and bottom of that sentiment. Then all I have to do is trim it to where I want it. So I want a little bit of that there. I'm going to trim that because I just wanted that clean edge. Alright. So this is going to come across here like that. So if I use that as a guide, I can judge how large I want the piece to be, because I want it to be able to cover that join so no one has to know that that's not just one large rectangle panel there. So I think I'm happy with that. That's going to sit across there like that. Alright, so I'm just going to use my mat to give me an idea of where that is. So it's kind of just at the top of this ribbon on that white line there. Use a little bit of tape to hold it in place. Try and get it as straight as possible. And then there's room for a bit of a dimensional down here. Without hitting that ribbon. And I might pop another little half one on this. Alright, so once you're at this stage and you've got your dimensionals down under there, we're just going to attach our little banner. And I'm using some double-sided adhesive. Just to stick it over where that line is, we don't want to see that. And that helps give the illusion that we've actually got a bit of a rectangle happening there. Then we're going to stamp our little gift. So this little gift is really beautiful here in the background, and I thought it would be fun to pull one out that we could colour to have as a little bit of a feature. So I've pre-stamped one there, but I'll show you. Just on Memento black ink onto Whisper white cardstock. While you're going, it's not a bad idea just to grab a Whisper white envelope and stamp one there where the address is going to go. So then you've got that little bit of a pretty dressed up envelope to match. And I'll decorate that as well in a minute. So I'm just tidying up my little workspace here. Time to do some colouring. We've got the pens. I've got the Peekaboo Peach pen again. My dog's going a bit crazy at something in the background, don't worry about those guys. Alright, so I'm going to colour my little present with little orange dots. Little Peekaboo Peach spots. That was super easy to do, and the next thing I wanted to do was add some colour to the ribbon. Now I don't actually have a Stampin' Up marker in Pool Party, which was the lovely blue that tied in with the project. But I love blender pens because they allow you to use inks that you've already got in your stash and stretch them for the purpose of colouring, which is really fun. So I've got a clean blender pen here. I've squeezed some ink onto the lid to act as a palette, picking up the colour with my blender pen, and I'm just going to go where I want the colour deepest first, and then blend it through. If you want to smooth it out a little bit, you can add a touch more, but you can't add too much colour with these because it will start to pull up the Whisper white cardstock. It's just for that little pop of colour. While I'm going, I might do my envelope as well. This present, because it's directly on white as opposed to the green, I might make the gift in here. Pool Party. Leave the spots white and colour in the ribbon. So we've got the Peekaboo Peach marker again, and I'm just going to colour that ribbon there. Like that, just that touch. That's our envelope. We've got our present here ready to fussy cut. I'm going to use just a little bit of tape again to stick that in place. Don't want to cover too much of that letter P. And there we have it. A really cute little birthday card using the Weather Together stamp set. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and you'll be back to watch more soon. Thank you. Bye.